7 stories, all of them real. One of them still happening right now. She called to say she was running late. I'm holding her phone, and it's been locked in an evidence bag for 12 days. I signed it out of the evidence locker at 8 a.m. just to charge it. 12 days of battery drain. The bag still smelled like the locker, like metal and old tape. The last confirmed sighting of her was May 16th, 2004, leaving the house at 14 Chena Pump Road at roughly 3 p.m. That was 12 days ago. At 4:11 p.m., today the phone rang in my hand. I answered it. Her voice, her exact cadence, the way she drops the end of a sentence, said she was running late. Traffic on the Johansson. The Johansson is a real highway in Fairbanks. It's the route she always took. My tongue went dry pressing that phone against my ear. Police traced it in under an hour. The call originated from the landline at 14 Chena Pump Road, her father's house. The house that has been locked and empty for 12 days. I'm parked on Airport Way right now, engine off. My fingers are so cold I can barely feel the phone. I keep waiting for it to ring again. Robert Kelly Sr. and his son Christopher have been missing since May 16th, 2004. No one has explained that call. No one has explained who was standing in that house, holding that landline, and speaking in her voice. If you know anything about Robert and Christopher Kelly, Fairbanks, Alaska, May 2004, it's not too late to say something. 3 hours, 17 minutes. Engine off, no phone glow, just his face aimed at your front door. You've been counting. 3 hours, then 4. The engine never turned over once. Your neighbor across the street turned her porch light off early. She saw him too. Nobody called anyone. You moved to the kitchen to make tea. By the time the kettle clicked, the car had rolled forward 12 feet. You put up blackout curtains 6 days ago. Not for sleep, so he'd stop knowing which room had a light on. His hands stay on the wheel the whole time. Not a phone, not a coffee cup, just his hands and the wheel, and your door. Your mouth goes dry the way it does before something happens. Not fear exactly, just your body already knowing before your brain catches up. You don't call the police. Because what do you say? A man is sitting in a car? They'll say it first, and you'll feel small, and he'll still be there when you hang up. At 2:14 a.m., the car is gone. No sound, no headlights. You just look and the curb is empty. And somehow that's the part that makes your teeth press together. If that curb outside your house ever looks wrong, trust the feeling that woke you up to check. Gretchen Fleming left a Parkersburg bar on December 4th, 2022. They found her 3 years later. She was seen leaving with a man named Preston Pierce. Security caught it all. Police searched Pierce's Parkersburg house within weeks. They found nothing at all. Find Gretchen Fleming signs stayed up in yards for 3 years straight, September 2025. The same remote county, the same searched ground. This time they stopped. Genetic testing matched the remains to Gretchen. Pierce was arrested in Asheville, North Carolina. 3 years, the same ground, searched before. Something was missed, or something was moved. Gretchen Fleming, Parkersburg, West Virginia, December 4th, 2022. Remember that name? If you remember seeing anything around Parkersburg in December 2022, the case is still open. Follow for more stories that don't leave you. Beverly Smith called her mother at 7 p.m. By 8:30, she was face down on the kitchen floor with a .22 bullet in the back of her skull. December 9th, 1974, Oshawa, Ontario. Beverly is 22 years old, home alone with her infant daughter Rebecca, and she does not like the quiet. She calls her mother at 7. No answer. She tries her sister Barbara. Barbara is out on a date. The line clicks dead and the kitchen gets very still. She sets the phone down. At some point after that, she walks toward the back of the house. That part, the investigators will later call a theory. At 8:30, neighbors Linda and Alan Smith let themselves in. Beverly is on the kitchen floor, not moving. The cigarette in the ashtray has burned all the way down to the filter. The ash still intact, like nobody touched it. Rebecca is in the next room. She is untouched. She is not crying. The house makes no sound at all. The first officers who arrive write "fall" in their notes. Then the X-ray comes back. There is a .22 caliber bullet lodged in the base of Beverly's skull, fired from behind, at close range. That same night, December 9th, 1974, the Durham Regional Police are holding their first Christmas party. Witnesses will later say some of the responding officers smelled of alcohol. Beverly's body is still warm when they write "accidental fall." 50 years, no arrest, no charge. And somewhere in Oshawa tonight, someone knows who knocked on that door after 7 o'clock and never said a word. Beverly Smith, Oshawa, Ontario, December 9th, 1974. The case is still open. Durham Region Cold Case Unit is still taking calls. Chazay 2005. 12 stab wounds. 20 years. No arrest. October 11th, 2005. A Tuesday. Maureen Boisseranc walks home early from school, key already in her hand, the street behind her empty. By 5 p.m., her father is home from work. He calls her name twice. The house gives him nothing back. 12 stab wounds, Siron, 8 to the back, 4 to the abdomen. Medical examiner notes she survived long enough to reach the phone. No forced entry. Not a scratch on the lock. Not a splinter on the frame. She opened the door herself. From the floor, they lift one shoe print. Nike Air, size 43, men's. And from Maureen's clothing, a DNA profile that matches no one in any database. At some point during the attack, Maureen gets her hands on her phone and dials her mechanic. His number saved, easy to find, someone she trusted. He picks up. And before Maureen can say a word, the mechanic hears a man's voice. Calm, close to the phone, telling her to hang up. The phone was never found. The knife was never found. 20 years later, the DNA still matches no one. Size 43, unknown male. He walked into that house in Chazay des and the door closed behind him like it was nothing. Maureen Boisseranc, Chazay des. The case is still open. Willowbrook State School, Staten Island, 1972. 450 children on the roster, and nobody could tell you where half of them were sleeping. By 1972, the state of New York had already seen the footage. A film crew got in. They watched the tape and filed it. Geraldo Rivera walked those same halls and found children left naked on bare concrete. No staff, no sound except the children themselves. The smell hit his crew before the lights came up. Ammonia and something warmer underneath it. The smell of a place where no one comes to clean. Andre Rand mopped those floors. When reporters asked what he'd seen, he said the staff were victims just like the children. He said it calmly. When Willowbrook closed in 1987, Rand didn't leave. He went into the tunnels under the grounds. People reported seeing fires down there at night and shapes moving near the tree line. Holly Ann Hughes was 5 years old. She vanished from the grounds in 1981. Her bones came up 3 years later, 30 yards from the fence Rand slept behind. He told investigators he was protecting them. My throat goes dry every time I read that sentence, because the school said the same thing in 1947 when it opened. Willowbrook didn't create one monster. It built a place where a monster could disappear into the system and take children with him, and the system called it care. Holly Ann Hughes' bones were found 30 yards from where Rand slept, so who else knew he was there and said nothing? Stevie Johnston, May 9th, 1966. The skin under his fingernails was never his. 150 feet from his front door. Mother's Day. His mother was still setting the table when they found him. Police had a name within days. A local teenager. The paperwork looked airtight, until it didn't. Every document, fabricated. When the forgeries collapsed, a different name came up. A man from the same neighborhood. A man with a pattern. Not just one child, not just one county. And the thing is, they had him. Not a theory. Physical evidence, the skin caught under Stevie's fingernails when he fought back. He fought back. A 7-year-old boy scraped his killer's skin under his own fingernails and held onto it. And the lab knew what it was. This was 1966. Before DNA testimony was a thing, but they sealed it, labeled it, put it in an envelope, and filed it away for when the science caught up. Montgomery County Police lost it. The envelope, the sample, no chain of custody record. My mouth went dry the first time I read that sentence. Lost it. Like a library book. The prime suspect is believed to still be alive. The case is technically open. Stevie Johnston would have turned 67 this year. And whoever's skin that was, they've had 58 years of mournings. Stevie held on to that evidence with his own hands. Someone made sure it disappeared. Who do you think lost that envelope? If you want next week's 7, subscribe. Some of them I almost didn't tell.